Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. First impressions video today. This has just come from PSE rifle stocks in Ireland. I ordered this at the British Shooting Show a couple of weeks ago, and this is the latest evolution carbon fibre stock. Now, PSE rifle stocks have been around for about 15 years, and the evolution that's gone on in what they're doing and what they're making has been quite impressive over that time. I've actually been trying to get hold of one for a few years, but you know, the opportunity never seemed to arise, and now it has. So this one's come over for me specifically to my specification. It was very similar to what I saw at the show actually, but we went through a few features and factors and things I wanted to make sure were going to be on the stock I was getting. So just put those to one side, put the box to one side. Let's have a look at the stock first of all. Now this is in a Remington 700 inlet. There have only been other inlets, but the Remington 700 and the Ticker inlet are the most popular. The main feature about these, which is very different, is that rather than being a sort of core stock with a carbon fibre shell on them, which is then machined out an inlet to fit your rifle's requirements, PSE actually mould the stocks completely from carbon fibre inside and out to give you kind of monocoque construction that makes it a lot stiffer, a lot lighter. It's a bit more expensive to make it that way, but it certainly gives you a better stock overall. And there we go. Right, that is light. I think these start out about 700 grams. I just sort of picked that up, and that really is that sort of, can I just sort of, I can't spin it around because it'll hit the ceiling, but that, wow, that's light. So this is Remington 700 inlet. You can see the usual radius bed there for the cylindrical action. Now this one is designed still to be bedded. It has an oversized recoil lug pocket, so it does need bedding in there to get the correct fit, but because the bedding pillars are in, and you know, you can get your bedding pins to fit in those, and obviously bedding a stock is one of the most valuable things you can ever done to ensure a rifle's initial accuracy, long-term accuracy and precision as well. Now the carbon fibre, you can have it in different finishes. This one has got the adjustable cheek piece as well. Let's just pop that out of the way. This has got the evolution fitting here, so that is actually spring loaded, and that will then just sort of pop up and go to where you want it and nip back in position, and you can swap that left-handed or right-handed as you prefer. I'm actually going to be using this on my Remington 700 223 rifle, but I'll just show you some of the features initially, just as a first look, to see what I had added to it. Now, recoil pad on the back, length of pull I haven't yet measured. I need to just measure that when I've got the action in the stock, because I have got to do a little bit of bedding on it to make sure it's perfect fit. I won't be videoing that, number one, because I have my own way of doing it, and my own way of doing it means that I'm busy doing it, and trying to operate a camera while I've got DevCon all over my fingers and everywhere is not something I want to do. Anyway, moving on from that, I've got a piece of Arca rail I had customised, put on the bottom of the stock here mid-position so I can use it from tripod sticks. Something I do like to shoot a lot from. This is going to be 223, it's a foxing rifle, and it's also it's a semi-custom precision 223. It's a 223 Wild with a fast 8-inch twist barrel, so I can shoot 77 grain Sierra TMK bullets, which gives me a lot of capability for longer distances as well as shooting 55s at closer range. The other factors I've had are I've got a piece of Picatinny rail on the side because I want to add my illuminator onto that, because when I'm in the shooting position I do still prefer night vision over thermal image, just for a bit more safety at night, but that's there. So I'm going to have my illuminator on there, and I've just got my one button thumb press for the illumination, because it keeps it close to the barrel, keeps it out of the way, stops the stock getting too high, too tall, things like that. And then on the underside I've gone for a piece of Picatinny rail. So you can have various options on these kind of things, and please, I'll put the link to the PSE website and some of their own videos which go into a lot more technical detail in the link to this video, so please do look in the link. But I went for a piece of Picatinny rail because I happen to have got a tier 1 ATAC bipod at the minute, which I'm going to be using on that. And there we go. The other thing I went for is I went for some flush cup swivel sling stud anchor points, which is going to work well because I've had them put on the side so I can use my biathlon style sling, and the rifle will fit, you know, between my shoulder blades, down my back, thus, I don't know if you can see that on camera, and it just makes it lighter and easier to carry, because I do quite a lot of foxing on foot sometimes, and the last thing I want to be doing is just have handfuls of gear or a sling that's, you know, always dropping the rifle off your shoulder. So let's just go and grab the bipod, and then no, that's right, we'll look in this, what's in here first. It's all come very well packaged. Aha, yes, I remember now. So we have got length of pull spacers, which I will probably be adding to customise length of pull exactly to my requirements. These are a little bit sellotaped in here, but these are actually some of the quick detach studs. Could be obviously talk amongst yourselves while I just pick this apart. Anyway, that's a QD Sling swivel stud, can't remember which is which, and those they lock in there, lock in position, and then you can rotate to exactly where you want them. I'll do that one later, but you know what it does. Just bob that one from there for the moment. Push the button down, clips back in like that, and those will rotate as you want them. You can rotate them with the button down through 90 degrees like that, so you could have it, say, vertical, or you can have it horizontal like that, but it won't keep spinning around and twist your sling up. So I quite like that. That's a good feature. What else was in this little packet here? Ah, yes. Here was something that's very important. This is the detachable bottom metal, or the bottom metal for an AICS magazine system. So I use AICS magazine systems on my 223. There are all sorts of AICS magazine systems. AICS stands for Accuracy International Chassis System. It first came out when Accuracy International developed was it the AT stock Remington 700 compatible, because AIs themselves use a twin stack magazine, but you can use the AICS magazines, and that is the compatible bottom metal. One moment, please. That was just some bubble wrap I stood on. There is an AICS magazine. Here is a Tier 1 bipod. And there is the rifle which will become the donor project. I'm just going to pop these on here 1 second. All the bangs, by the way, are me standing on bubble wrap. Just pop that out of the way. So AICS magazine, bottom metal, that just goes in like that and click in position. I have been told you can actually just tune the actual height of the magazine system slightly using this bottom metal. So if you do have some cartridges that have got specific feed requirements, you can adjust the way that magazine fits vertically exactly into position. This bottom metal is supplied by PSE, and it's got a twin side, so it's ambidextrous magazine release, and it's quite a slim fitting, which is probably more appropriate to a sporting rifle than a big long lever that you might want on a PRS rifle or something like that. And that is going to fit when bedded in there. Now it's a perfect fit now, but bedding basically means that you're going to completely remove any stress whatsoever and make sure you've got an absolutely perfect rifle to stock fit. So that might just fall out, it might not. Let's just pop the magazine out for the second, just so it doesn't drop out. And here we have got the Tier 1 bipod. So just pop that on there. I might just need adjusting slightly. Talk amongst yourselves. Set that halfway, adjust that so it's tight. Then click that down, and then now you've got quick release on off, which is perfectly tensioned, because things do vary a little bit sometimes, especially when you've had non-standard Picatinny rails, let's call them. You tend to have to tighten things up or slacken them off a little bit. So that is now my bipod and setup, and that's going to be going on there on the rifle. So we've got a vertical pistol grip on this stock. We've got stippling at the fore end here for grip, which you don't see because it's really nicely integrated in the sort of splatter camouflage pattern. And again, we've got an ambidextrous palm swell on the grip. It's a smaller grip. It's definitely a sporting rifle. It's not a huge, big, hungry tactical rifle. But again, stippling on the sides gives you the grip there. We've showed you the cheek piece, and that is effectively going to give me my new foxing rifle setup. The cheek piece is nice and slim, so it fits under your cheekbone without displacing your jaw to the side. And of course, like I said, with it being quick release, just pop that exactly where you want it, and it will just lift up under its own weight or spring up if you want it to. Now I've gone for the wide barrel channel here. PSE do recommend going for the wide barrel channel because, as you can see, the carbon fibre is on the inside as well. It's not just a machined foam core. So if you go for the wider barrel channel inlet, number one, you've always got the capability of upgrading. Number two, you've got more space around your barrel. And number three, if you were to go for a narrow barrel channel inlet, which in some scenarios you might prefer, you can't just have it machined out like you can with a foam core stock, because this one does have the complete monocoque construction of the carbon fibre both inside the inlet and on the outside of the stock. So in that respect, I think it makes a lot of sense to go for exactly the stock I've got. Well, that's why I chose this stock. But yeah, I don't see the point in going for a narrow barrel channel inlet, and because this stock is both, you know, it's crush free if you do use it in a tripod clamp, but I've gone for the Arca there so I can use it in the Arca rail, and that is not going to give me any kind of intermittent contact down the sides of my barrel. My free float is going to stay perfectly in progress, and there we go. So I'm going to spend the rest of my day now bedding this in here and hopefully get out shooting within the week. So there we go. Right, I've just sort of, let's just call it dummy assembled it. I'm just going to put a few bits together just to get a bit of a feel for it and show you what it looks like or will look like when it's done completely. I'm just taking off the recoil pad because I want to add some length of pull to it. It's an Allen key fitting, which is better than a screwdriver because they're always kind of, especially when you've got to go through the rubber of the, or the foam rubber of the cheek piece, or the recoil pad itself, they're often hard to keep pressed into the screw. So an Allen key makes life a lot simpler for that. Obviously you're just going to be patient, wind them out. That's nice because those are actually stainless steel screws on there, which is good. So I'm just going to put one on for now. Feed that one back in. I don't often do videos of myself just tinkering, do I? I do a lot of tinkering. Setting things up, putting scopes on, blah 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 blah. I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example of something while we've done this. As I say, I haven't actually done the full fitting job on this yet, but this is a Macmillan Seiko style stock that's come out of. You've probably seen this rifle in use many times. This has been a very reliable stock over the years. It's been on a few rifles. The bedding's been kind of done and redone and redone and redone, but there we go. That's an example now, you see, of the fore end here. Can you see the way that that is like a foam core? It's a hard foam core, but it's machined out. So effectively the composite's mainly on the outside, and that's really not the strong, it's more just a filler substance, and that's the same as how the inlet would have been as well. That's I can feel where that's actually been, probably by me over the years, it's been actually sandpapered or machined out or something like that to make it larger when I've gone for a larger barrel on the rifle. Here we are, guns in here. It fits in very nicely actually without the bedding job done yet. There's just one little thing I need to attend to immediately, and that's the magazine fit. Now Eddie and Peter at PSE did tell me of this, just in the fact that, just pop that down there, that out of the way. They told me that this will be a factor that they do actually plan in the fact there's obviously a lever on there which snags the back of the magazine there, and that controls the exact height the magazine fits at relative to your action. Now if I plug that down there, that actually is not quite going past the end of the lever, and they've said if you take that lever out, which is just something it's designed to do, it's just on a roll pin there, just tap that out, you can take the lever out, you can just shorten the end of the lever slightly, which gives you a little bit more tunability with the magazine system. And it's something I've done in the past. For example, on this inlet here, I actually machined that inlet myself, and I was quite proud of that. The only thing was, and there's pillars in there which I put in as well, I actually had a pair of, when the rifle changed, I actually had to put a pair of washers underneath there. In fact, I'll show you them because I've just taken them off. I effectively modified the the height at which the magazine sat by just having those little washers in there. Can you see those washers in there? I just and that just did exactly what they reminded me of in terms of keeping the fit of the bottom metal exact, so that you can tune the height which the magazine fits at relative to the action. And of course the polymer magazines 223, this is an MDT magazine actually. I used to have the old AICS polymer 223 magazines. They were actually a little bit better, and I had a few of those and I actually chopped them down and made them into 5-shot mags as well. One of these days I might do that to one of these, but I haven't had the opportunity yet. And so I'm always using different things, different rifles. So that is something I need to attend to immediately, and then do the bedding job on it. So I might probably do the bedding first and then do that after. Let's just move that out of the way. But there you go. There you can get an idea of what it is going to look like in use. And this is a safe dry fire. Pop my lens caps up so I can actually see through the optic. That cheek piece height is very nice, and the cheek piece shape is good too. I'm just going to pop it just a tiny little bit lower. That is really nice. Now this is a sporting stock. The grip isn't quite as hand-filling as something like the bigger PSE stocks, but again, this is like 700 gram weight stock, so the rifle itself weighs less now. That is a heavy 20-inch barrel, so okay, I'm not making a super lightweight rifle, but it's a very accurate rifle and it deserves an accurate, well-bedded stock. And that is going to be the new way forward for this gun. Right, let's go and do some work. I hope you've enjoyed that quick look at this PSE rifle stock. This is the Evolution model. Please look in the link in the description. There'll be some links and some other videos that PSE have put to their website, and also their videos too. And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell and keep track of all my regular uploads. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.